Good morning and welcome to today's Sunday morning coffee. So what we're going to be making today, we're going to get straight into macchiato, double macchiato, which we're going to do in a little espresso cup, and then we're going to make a latte macchiato, which is done in a latte glass. So macchiato basically means double espresso with a stain of milk. So you get a little bit of milk and a little bit of milk foam on top. And latte macchiato is milk with a stain of espresso. So that's when we fill the glass with milk and we drop our espresso on top. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our espresso. So I'm going to use sage, First thing we're going to do is we're going to get our grind into the portafilter with the handle. So I'm using the Sage Grinder Pro. Just let it finish grinding. I need 18 grams of coffee, and in order to do that on this machine with a medium roast, so that's a Brazilian roast, I've got 14.4 seconds and I'm grinding on grind size 6. That's giving me 18 grams of coffee. So to create the espresso, I need to produce 36 grams of espresso. That's why I've got the scales ready. So level. Tamp on a good hard surface, give it a really good tamp. And we need to wipe, pop the grip handle on, and we're ready to go. The scales at the moment are showing 0. We put the espresso cup on and it's showing 160.9 grams. We want that to be 0 again, so we just knock, there we go. That's ready. Pop the coffee machine on, it's always handy. Okay, that's ready to go as well. So what I'm going to do is press the program button. I'm going to press the double shot. I'm going to keep my eye on the grams and keep my eye on the time. When we get to 33, I'm going to knock it off. That'll give me the perfect double espresso, so it's a 1 to 2. Okay, so 37 grams. That will do. I'll show you that, if I can show you that on this angle. There we go. Nice double espresso, lovely colour, plenty of crema, nice thick crema on the top. I'm going to take the grip handle off. I want to steam some milk, so what I'm going to do is get my milk jug. I'm just using this Sage one that's got the temperature gauge there at the bottom. I'm not really worried too much about the temperature, I'm more concerned about the foam. I only want a tiny bit of milk, so normally I say fill to the bottom of the spout, but we don't even need that. So we just need a little bit, so basically I've put in this much. Whole milk, you can use any milk you like. And then what I'm going to do is knock the steam on and prepare the steam ready to steam the milk. Really important that we get the steam arm going by switching it on and just aiming the steam arm down into the drip tray, because the first bits of steam you'll see in a second that come out, it's just water. And then you can hear the machine really starting to produce that lovely steam that you need. I'll just give it a second. Here we go. So as you can see there, and now we're getting a nice heavy steam coming. Yeah, perfect. I'll switch it off. Take the steam arm. Put the steam arm inside the milk so it's just going into the top. And we're looking for little chirping sounds. And we want to produce a nice thick foam on top, as if we're going to make a cappuccino. like I said before, it's just a tiny bit of milk. It's just to cut the espresso. So try not to lean the steam arm on the side of the jug there. You can hear now it's really starting to, there we go, it really started to go. So knock the steam arm off, let it finish, because if you take it out while it's still steaming, you're going to ruin your foam. Give it a bang and swirl, so surfing is what it's called. Make sure I've got no bubbles. There we go, lovely foam, nicely steamed milk. Really important. Again, I can't tell you how important it is to wipe the steam arm when you're finished. Knock it back to the drip tray, switch it on, just purge. Then you're ready to create macchiato. Okay, so your macchiato pour, really simply get that milk alive. Again, I know we've left it for a minute while I've just adjusted the shot. We're just pouring a little bit on top there. Now if you like a bit of foam, you can always get your spoon. Just take a bit of foam, add a little bit of foam on top. There we go. Espresso macchiato, double espresso macchiato. And like I said before, the espresso is a 1:2 ratio. That means 18 grams in, 36 grams out, about 26 seconds. Gives you that amazing flavour. So different to what you get if you go to a branded coffee shop. So this will be a totally different taste. It'll be really intense, really nice, intense taste of espresso. You get all those beautiful, thick, sticky flavours coming through. Whereas if you create this at home and then you go to somewhere else like a Starbucks or a Costa Coffee or somewhere else that's making a really kind of fast branded, fast food style, high street coffee shop, you're not going to get those real rich sticky flavors of espresso. So there we go, espresso macchiato. Let's move on to the latte macchiato, which is a totally different drink. Big amount of milk and a stain of espresso in the top. Okay, so latte macchiato. If you go into high street branded store, they might just call it a latte. But because of the way that we do it, where we're adding the milk to the top, it's a latte macchiato because it basically means stain. So stain of espresso in milk rather than stain of milk in espresso. Okay, so first thing to do when you have a large latte glass like this one, really important that we're just going to put some hot water. I'm just going to pop some hot water from the machine. There we go, so it looks just like this. It's only a little bit of hot water there in the glass, but it just means that I can feel now the heat coming through. So what's happening there is when I chuck the water out, I've got a nice hot glass, I put my milk in, and my milk is not going to lose temperature straight away. We're going to have a nice hot coffee still. So the danger of putting hot milk into a cold glass is that the milk goes cold really quick and the drink is ruined. In my opinion, not in everyone's. Okay, so the jug that I'm going to use for steaming milk, I'm going to use a larger jug because I need a higher volume of milk, so it's a 16-ounce glass. And I'm going to use a thermometer on the top there like this. I'm just steaming for latte, so I know how much foam. I'm not steaming for cappuccino, not steaming for flat white. There we go. So let's get on with it. First thing we need is the espresso. In a different world where it doesn't take as long to pull the grind to produce the espresso, I would say the best course of action is steam your milk, hit your espresso, put the drink together is the right way around to do it. But because this process is a little bit slower, I'm using home equipment, not commercial coffee grinders, not commercial coffee machines, the best way is to produce your espresso and then steam your milk. Okay, so we're hitting this now, grinding exactly the same espresso as we did for the espresso macchiato. 18 grams, 36 out, 1 to 2. There we go. Now I'm just using this, which came with the coffee machine, because I don't need to pay for one when I already have it. And it just helps me to level, tamp and wipe. So the 3 stages you should do all the time, regardless. We're tamping, so we get that nice flat surface. We're compacting our coffee grind. We're wiping so that we don't put lots of coffee grind up into the machine. And we're getting our espresso cup. First we're going to power on the, there we go. So we power on the scales, and then we're going to put our espresso cup and we're going to get this coffee going. So it's exactly in the same way as we did before. Pop your cup onto the scales. It's giving me 162.9, so this black one is slightly heavier than the white one, might be the colouring in it, I don't know. And then we keep on tapping and then we get 0. When we get 0 and our cup is underneath, put the double shot. I set my timer up last time, so I did the program button last time. But I wanted to make sure I was getting the right double espresso. I'm keeping an eye on here to see whether I'm going to get the same. And no, we're not. We'll do it again. Okay, so even though I set up the program function, for some reason the Barista Express did not follow that program. I don't know why. Maybe there's something wrong with the machine, I don't know. But all I can do to counter that is to not trust the program button. So it's technically reprogramming every time I pull a shot. When it gave me a nice shot that would be good for ristretto, a single ristretto, but not what we were looking for, which was a double espresso. Okay, here we go. We've got my espresso cup, my scales are on 0, I press my program button, I press double shot. So technically what I should be doing now is programming my machine to recreate that timing every time, but for some reason it's not working. I'm getting good pressure, I'm getting good timing coming down through here. The pressure could be slightly better, I maybe need to change my grind size. Here we go. Double shot. Okay, so the shot's ready. Exactly the same as the one it was before. And we'll start to steam our milk. Okay, so 16 ounce Latte Macchiato. I didn't know where I was then for a moment in time. It's been a while. I'm going to put 300 ml of milk in my jug. Whole milk I'm using, but you can use any alternative that you like, whichever you prefer. The objective is the same. Steam the milk. I'm going to knock it off about 120 so it hits 140, which is the ideal temperature. I'm going to create that foam on top, not too much, not too little, just enough so that when we fill the glass it's giving us 5 ml roughly, maybe a little bit more head of foam, and we're going to drop the shot straight on top. So as before, we're going to get this steam arm going. So I've switched the steam arm on now. I'm waiting for it to create that lovely steam that's coming out. It's taking its time. Maybe my Sage Barista Express is running to the end of its life. Maybe it's had a good hammering. I don't know. There we go, plenty of steam. My machine is still working, by the way, as well as it ever did. So it's just maybe some of the functionality is not as good on the technical side. Okay, so steaming the milk, got those nice paper tearing sounds or those nice chirping sounds. It's whole milk, so it should steam real easy. Fresh milk every time, it makes so much of a difference. You go into a coffee shop and they give you milk that's already been steamed, or they're just topping the jug up. The taste is just not right. Now you can see that foam. Maybe you can, I can see that foam starting to build. And we're approaching 120. As soon as we touch over 120, I'm going to knock the steam arm off. When I knock the steam arm off, I'm just going to hold so that the steam finishes coming out of there. You're going to hear that steam starting to finish. What happens if you pull out too fast is there's still steam coming out, and then it makes a mess of your foam that you've so neatly created on top of your milk. Wipe and purge. So wiping and purging is just about getting old milk off the steam arm, and it's getting rid of any milk that's gone up inside the steam arm as well. Oh, we've got a beautiful head of foam on there. See that? See that lovely, shiny, silky looking. We'll take the thermometer out. We'll get the glass. Glass is nice and warm, still got that hot water in. Okay, and let's create. Okay, I hope the camera angle is right for you. And we're going to pour this milk in. Perfect. There's enough room for espresso. I'm going to give it a little bit more. And then we're going to stain the milk with the espresso. There we go. I'm just going to use the last little bit just to top up there. And there we go. Latte Macchiato. Okay, so Latte Macchiato and Espresso Macchiato. Two beautiful drinks. That one's looking a little bit old, that one's nice and fresh. I would probably say that the foam on this one's probably a little bit too thick. It's just over a finger. I'd like to see it probably a little bit less than that. But if I pick the camera up and show you the top, you can see that the espresso, when it's gone in, has stained the milk, and that's where we get it from. So whichever drink you need, if you need a really fast double shot of espresso with a little bit of milk, then your macchiato, espresso macchiato is your way forward. If you need a longer drink to cure maybe a hangover on a Sunday morning, then this is the one for you. This one is the ideal one to add flavouring to, so if you want to put some hazelnut, it's that time of year, a bit of maple hazel, that time of autumn flavour. If you want to go for pumpkin spice for Halloween season, then this is the one for you. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you next Sunday with another Sunday morning coffee.